stop fishing in the ice like that. The size of that hole is causing climate change.
Really? How do you figure that out?
Well, you've been fishing like that for as long as I can remember, and climate change is happening, so that must be causing it. Haven't you seen all the pollution in the air?
No, that's not causing climate change. Climate change is caused by fishing with synthetic lines like that one you've got.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's your position. See, you're facing east. You need to not be facing east.
Not be facing east? That sounds a bit far-fetched. I think it's the blue hat you're wearing that's causing climate change.
My blue hat?
Yeah, it's clear.
Do you think so?
Yeah, well, maybe not, but what else could possibly be causing climate change?
Maybe it's the humans.
The humans?
Yeah.
No. Do you think for one moment that they would allow that to happen to us?
Oh, it's got to be the hats then.
Yeah, it must be the hats.
Okay, I would like for everyone to close their eyes and think about what you would say to your kids in 2030 when they ask you why the polar bears died. More importantly, how would you feel? Okay, you can open your eyes. September 12th of this year, there was a record high of only 24% of the polar ice cap left. That in the Arctic Ocean. In 2007, the low was at 29%. That's a 10% decrease happening every decade. So by 2036, in our lifetime, the polar bears will have reached the brink of their extinction. Global warming has the potential to affect every person and every animal on this planet. Today, I will be discussing what global warming is and what causes it, the effects it has on the polar bear population, and what we can do to help. Scientists have spent decades trying to figure out what causes global warming. The only way to explain it is the release of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere that we are responsible for. Gas that's responsible for most of the warming is called carbon dioxide, or CO2. This is released from fossil fuels and cars. Another thing is methane, and that is a factor of landfills and agriculture, especially from the digestive systems of grazing animals that I will talk more about in a minute. Another factor is nitrous oxide, which is found in the fertilizers that we use, and gases used for refrigeration and industrial processes, and also the loss of forests that would otherwise store CO2. The UN report says almost a fifth of global warming emissions come from producing livestock. That is more emissions than from all of the world's transportation combined. That means that last year researchers at the University of Chicago noted that feeding animals for dairy, meat, and egg production requires growing 10 times as much crops as we'd need if we just ate pasta or fake chicken nuggets or other plant foods. Also, we'd have to transport the animals to slaughterhouses, slaughter them, refrigerate their carcasses, and distribute the flesh all over the country. And that's producing a lot of emissions. Like, it's a lot of work just by the fact that we eat meat and not eating more plant food. When it all adds up, the average American does more to reduce global warming emissions by going vegetarian than by switching to a Prius, said Kathy Preston in Vegetarian is the New Prius article from the Huffington Post. So global warming is obviously a problem today, but I'd like to share with you some more specific scary things that are happening to the Arctic and the polar bear population. By the end of this century, there could actually be no more summer ice in the Arctic, and that doesn't really sound like a big deal, not being no more ice in the North Pole. But ice and snow there form an important protective coating that reflects some of the sun's rays back into space and helps keep the whole planet from getting too warm. The hotter the Earth is, the hotter the water will be, and that has shown that warmer water has a direct correlation with more severe weather change. That's why we are experiencing a lot of hurricanes in the United States, and because a lot of that is happening, there's a lot of shifts within the water, and that's making the fish population go way down. Like, it's harder for the polar bears to get food, and they have to travel farther distances, and that's why a lot of them are dying. So it affects the polar bear's source or food source and availability. It's projected that at least half of the polar bear's natural habitat will be gone by the end of this century. There is only about 22,000 polar bears left in the United States. And less food equals less sustainability. Newborn cubs are being crushed to death when their snowy ice dens collapse from unseasonal rains. So let's explore what we can do more to help. We can make climate-friendly choices in our everyday lives, whether by buying energy-efficient appliances and cars, using solar energy for your house and or business, or taking public transportation or carpooling. It's not really feasible for everyone to go out and buy a new car or a new Prius. So here's a list of things you can do to help make an impact in your everyday lives. These are things I follow every day by just unplugging my hair curler or my phone charger before I leave the house. You can switch your regular light bulbs to compact fluorescent light bulbs. You can plant a tree or start a garden. It'll also make you more healthy. That will absorb the CO2 emissions. What else can you do? You can encourage like solar panels to like your businesses where you work, and that will save on electricity. Go vegetarian or vegan, like Kathy said, and that will help to save the polar bears also. You can visit www.carbonfootprint.com and take a short quiz to determine what your impact is right now in reducing your carbon footprint. You can watch the documentary An Inconvenient Truth to learn more about global warming and the impact on the polar bear habitat. If you guys are curious for any gift-giving ideas for Christmas this year, you can adopt a polar bear through WWF. That's the World Wildlife Federation, and my boyfriend actually adopted one for me, and I know anybody would want one. His name is Bunda, and he really helps me every day to unplug my cell phone charger, and he keeps me safe at night, so I like to do what I can to keep him safe. He means a lot to me. And you can like purchase these like $20, $30, $50 donations up to like $250. So in conclusion, I've told you about what global warming is and what causes it and its effects on the polar ice cap and what you guys can all do to help. Regardless if you believe in global warming or not, its effects are already in progress. They're very important. It's real. And I hope this presentation will make you all more conscious of your own actions and how they affect the Earth and the cute little polar bears that are dying. It will mean that we as a human race are evolving and and that the life of the polar bear will live